Hello everyone and welcome to episode 38 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Today, as promised, I'm going to continue working on that nuclear power station that I've got down in the basement. There's a couple other things I might want to get crafting today. We'll see where things lead us. For now, you can see my quarry's running pretty well. Everything's running smooth as usual. And I want to start the episode off by creating a new item. Let's look it up here in TMI. We've got the charging bench. This is an add-on for industrial craft. Again, it's not going to be standard, built into the mod. So you have to go get the add-on if you want. I did update my how-to install tutorial with the download link and where to get it and whatnot. So I'm going to need some HV cables, some wooden planks, and an advanced circuit. Now, I don't think I did wind up last episode. I said I was probably going to look into doing one of those automatic crafting tables with an advanced circuit. So maybe it would be a good idea for me right now to go ahead and do that. So I'll do that real fast. Let's get myself, gonna need a couple more pieces of glowstone. Gonna need a logistics pipe, which might not be in here at the moment. Maybe I dropped it in here. Yeah, there's a couple. So let's run downstairs, and while I'm waiting down here, I'm going to request a advanced automatic crafting table, and a regular good old electronic circuit. Cool. And while that stuff's running down and doing everything it needs to do, I'll get ready to craft what I need to craft. Sweet. All kinds of good stuff moving around here. Perfect. So I can craft myself a nice little basic logistics pipe, becomes a crafting logistics pipe, and place down our automatic crafting table. Why not right here? Looks like a good spot. Place down this guy. Open up the crafting table here. Tell it how to make an advanced circuit. And we're good to go. Advanced circuit. Import the requirements. Everything looks good. And while I'm at it, why don't I go ahead and request an advanced circuit? Should be down here right next to the normal circuit, and it is. So let's wait for all that good stuff to move in. Ta-da! Looks good to me. Alright, so heading back upstairs here, I'm going to grab myself just 3 refined iron, grab my philosopher's stone to build up a crafting table, and we need to just place our iron like so. That's going to get us some high voltage cabling. Now this stuff is great for transferring huge amounts of energy over a long distance, but that's not what I'm using it for today, obviously. Today I'm using it to build a high voltage Mark III charging bench. Sweet. And goodbye NEI. Let's go down here. Actually, I should probably at least bring some fiber optic cable with me. Maybe just a bit. I might not need it, but why not? Can't hurt to have it on me. And I'm just going to hook it up. Why not? Maybe right here. That's a perfect spot for it, right? Nice. And you can see if we look at our MFSU, we've got some energy in there. So if I just open up this charging bench and place a few items in there, it'll charge all of them at once. So you can see it, fluctuating, trying to keep up with the demands of charging all 3 of these high-powered items at once, but the charging bench will take care of it. All the MFSU energy is flowing through. If I grab my friend the EU reader, which I probably have in here somewhere, there it is, you can see 512 energy units per tick flowing through this guy. Oh, maybe not quite so many. 375 going that way, 6 going that way. Huh, I wonder why it's not pulling all 512. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong somewhere. But for now, I'm going to let these guys recharge. You can see my leggings are already making good progress, and the boots are on the way next. So I'll let this guy charge up. And keep in mind the way this guy works, because I'm going to be using him for some more neat little features in the future. Alright guys, so the first thing I need to do is expand my reactor. Now anyone who watched my first Let's Play know I spent pretty much most of the episode explaining how reactors work, and all the cool stuff that they do, and how to use them. I'm going to shy away from that on this one. I don't want to spend the whole episode explaining reactors. Suffice it to say, they're pretty complex, almost like a mini-game in industrial craft, and I'm basically going to be copying one of the reactor designs that are available on the forums. Now, if you go check out the Industrial Craft forums, you'll find a bunch of reactor designs, and there's some really nice ones out there, as a matter of fact. and I'm going to go with a Mark II reactor. A Mark I reactor is one that never gains heat, so it never explodes. But a Mark II reactor is one that produces heat, and up to the point that it'll be able to run an entire cycle without exploding. And a cycle being basically it runs out of uranium fuel before it explodes. Now you could go up to a Mark III, which has the potential, which will definitely explode before the cycle's over. And if you want to do something like that, you know, you can set up a redstone timer or something, and then you can go all the way up to Mark IV and V if you want to go really crazy. The first one I'm going to do is definitely going to be a Mark II. I want a nice, stable reactor that I know will never explode no matter what. And that's what a Mark II will do. Simple and straightforward. So what I'm going to do is get ready to build that, and in order to build that, I'm going to need 6 more reactor chambers. Well, 5 more, as a matter of fact, right? No, 6 more. Yeah, 6 chambers. So why don't I get building on those 6 chambers? All I'm going to do is build reactor chambers like you saw me build in the last episode, and I'll be back once I've got 6. So you can just see I'm requesting some of the items I need here. Some coolant cells are making their ways down. I'm starting to build the basic components of the reactor, like so. One of these guys, another one of these guys, and another one of these guys. Then I can start building with my machine blocks. I can place this guy up here. We're basically going to be doing this. 2, luckily, reactor chambers stack. Not so bad. So I basically just created half of the reactor chambers that I need. Now I'm going to go ahead and request the rest of it. I'm going to need another 24 of these guys. So in the end you need 48 mixed metal ingots, believe it or not. So request some of those guys. Actually, do I have... Yeah, I don't think I... Yeah, steal more copper out of here. I stored some copper in my bag, because you need a good amount of copper for this as well. So back to this guy, requesting another 24 mixed metal ingots. And I'm going to need about 6 more coolant cells. And that should be good. And if we wanted to go take a look, we could see all the cool stuff going on downstairs in my auto crafting area. It's making everything it needs to craft all that good stuff. There goes all my coolant and water cells to be turned into coolant. Sweet. And plenty of mixed metal ingots to get compressed down. Now, somebody did send me a neat little design. I have to give him some kudos soon on a way to maybe do something a little bit cool with regards to these mixed metal ingots and have a bunch of different things get processed. I think I'm going to review that video once more that he sent me and then give him some props on this channel, but he gave me a really neat idea on how to basically have multiple inputs. And oh cool, it's raining out. How nice. So back to building. And just bringing you guys back for the last set of these. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Hooray! 6 reactor chambers. Woot! Those were a lot of resources, but it was so much easier building them when I have this request a remote orderer tool. Look at all the resources installed out of my resource chest. Not that I'm hurting, as you can see. Copper and tin blocks, plenty of those. But, yeah, not a bad deal. So let's run downstairs and put this guy together, shall we? Now, don't worry, I am going to be building some reinforced stone to protect against explosions. If this reactor were to blow up for whatever reason, this room would not be nearly large enough to protect myself. And a couple people posted on my last video saying, Direwolf, what would you do if your house blew up and you lost everything? Would you stop making the Let's Play out of frustration? Of course I wouldn't. Heck, it might even be encouragement to start building over again. But don't worry, I'm going to try and take every precaution I can to prevent an explosion here. Now, the reactor chamber, as you can see, has 3 columns of stuff. And every time you add a reactor chamber to it, you get a new column. So, like I said, this is going to be a 6-chamber reactor. So I'm placing all my reactors like this. There we go, reactor chambers. Now I have a fully fledged nuclear reactor, and I can start building the components that go in here in order to get this guy running. Now, in order to run this machine, I'm going to need a good amount of protection, so I want to build a nice little layout to make sure I'm well protected against what I need to do. So why don't I map out a quick design to make sure that this thing is well covered. I'll be back in a moment once I've figured out exactly what design I want to use. Alright guys, so just requesting myself some smooth stone here. I think 128 ought to do. That should be good. cleared out a little bit more room behind this reactor because I want to make sure I have a good wide area to build around. So I just cleared out a small little area behind it. I might actually add some more lights to this room real quick as well, but for now I'm waiting for all that smooth stone I just requested. And you can see all this junk that I cleared out of here I can just throw into my sorting chest, and that'll send it all down to that automatic sorting machine I've got upstairs. So it'll take care of all those items that I just collected. Very cool. And here comes my smooth stone. I'm going to build up this wall a little bit and maybe install some lights real fast, and then I'll get back to building my reactor. Alright, so I cleaned up a little room here. Looks like everything's running nice and smooth. Got my lights set up there. Did a better job wiring it this time. Take my word for it. I know I suck at wiring sometimes. Believe it or not, it's actually kind of hard to come up with a plan on exactly how you want to lay stuff out while you're trying to record. So every now and then I look like I'm a total noob, and sometimes I am. I won't lie. But sometimes it's just because I'm trying to record. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right. I was building a nice little reactor chamber, and I need to get myself some components for this reactor, and I also need to start laying out exactly how I want the design to work. Now, I might need to mine out this wall a little bit, but that's alright. But basically, I'm going to lay out, I want to go about here is where I'm going to start building the reactor chamber out. I want to give it a nice little bit of room inside this reactor chamber. Okay? And I'm probably using the word reactor chamber for two things right now, so I apologize for that. I should be a little bit more clear. I want to have a little room that's going to house my reactor, and that's going to represent the room. Now, the room needs to have water flowing through it, and I don't need the room to be quite as big as it is. I could build it up as close to the reactor as this, and just have water inside, but I want to have a little bit of extra room inside here, and there's going to be plenty of water, so don't worry. Nice, easy way to get that, right? Somewhere in here is my nice little Evertide amulet, so that'll hook me up with plenty of water to keep this thing cool. Now, I want to build my reactor room. I think I should build it about 3 blocks deep. So it'll be something like that. Okay. Now, I'm also going to have to build 3 blocks deep going down and on all sides. So you can see here I'm just kind of mapping out exactly where I want my reactor room to be. Kind of laid out like so. I should have something like that. There we go. And I'm going to pretty much lay it out like this as well. And that should protect me in case this thing ever explodes. When it comes to nuclear reactors, you don't want to skimp on the protection. So I think this is a pretty good layout of exactly how I want my room to be. Maybe even build it out like so. And that should be good. Okay, now don't forget, we also need this to be 3 blocks deep as well, and 3 blocks high. So I might need to move my lights or something, but we'll see what happens as we start building. If I were to build this guy, something like that, shouldn't be a big deal. Is that high enough? And remember, like I said, guys, I typically like to use cobble to do my experimental designs. So what is that, 2 blocks? 3 blocks. Yeah, I think that should be good. We might not have enough headway, but for the most part, that's going to be pretty solid. We might have our lights right at the top there, but no biggie. So why don't I get started? I might even need to wrench this stuff down and go 1 more layer deep. I might make this lower, just because I don't want to interfere with my lights here. But we'll figure it out. So the next thing I need to do is build some reinforced stone. So why don't I show you guys the recipe for that once I get ready for it. Alright, so I'm going to start off up here by getting my remote orderer, and I'm going to request 16 mixed metal ingots. That should be good to get started. And I'm also going to request, I'm going to say, 128 stone. There we go. You can run downstairs if we want and just check that everything's running smoothly, though I have no reason to believe it isn't. And there's a nice little dance going on down there. Tons of stone and iron and all the good stuff being cooked up for us. Perfect. Let's head back and see what's happening over here. Stone starting to get spit out, as well as some mixed metal ingots. Great. So I got 2 mixed metal at the moment. I bet all the cobblestone's being cooked at the moment, and we're waiting on refined iron to be cooked by the dark matter furnace. So I'll be back in a minute once all the ingredients are here. Alright, looks like the last of my ingredients have just arrived. So I'm going to start compressing my mixed metal ingots down into advanced alloys. Those are the building blocks that you have to use along with smooth stone to build reinforced stone. Now reinforced stone is a lot stronger and a lot more explosion resistant than your basic stone. And it basically goes like this. Take your reinforced advanced alloys, surround it with stone, and you get reinforced stone. So I just made myself 2 stacks of that. We can also make ourselves a reinforced door. I'm going to need that to get in and out of my reactor, so I might as well make it while I'm there. Probably going to need a little bit more reinforced stone than I've already crafted, but let's at least start with this, and I'll be back down, or back up here in a moment when I need to get some more. And I might build a reinforced stone auto crafting system, but for now I think we're good without. So, let's see, exactly how do I want to lay out this room? Yeah, see, I don't like the lights being there and getting blocked by this, so I might want to move this 1 layer lower. And if I were to do that, it would look something like that, and that might be alright for me. I wouldn't mind that too much. However, of course, that does mean that I've only got 2 layers of reinforced stone between my nuclear reactor and the roof of my house. Maybe not a good situation to be in, so I'll probably want to move my nuclear reactor down just a step. And hopefully nothing gets broken as a result. So let's get out my electric wrench here and start wrenching. I don't know if I can wrench this guy. Well, I can do that. That's cool. Never actually tried breaking apart a nuclear reactor before. Sweet. Probably have to wrench this thing, though. Oh, and how lucky. Wrench rate down to a generator. I'll be back once I've crafted a new nuclear reactor core. Alright guys, just getting back after doing that. How much of a nuisance that was to have to redo. But let's place this guy down here now, and then this guy like so. And that means that I can now place a little bit more of this roofing here like this. That should work out rather nicely for us. Alright, so not sure exactly how I want to make this work, but we'll figure it out as we go along. So let's place down the rest of our chambers, which all came off nicely, thank you very much. And let's start clearing away some of this junk. I'll be back once I've cleaned all this mess up that I made. Alright guys, starting out rather simply, I'm just placing down my reinforced stone in that, like I said, I want to go about 3 layers thick of it, just to make sure it's really nice and safe. Alright, got the starting of this nuclear reactor design ready. Probably going to have to go build a lot more reinforced stone, so I'm going to run upstairs and do that right now real quick. And of course I'll do it off camera just because you've seen it already. And as you guys can see, this time I'm going with 3 stacks of the stuff, so 24 in the middle here. And then just pad it out a little bit. Alright, back to just demo some of the progress I'm making on building here. I've got about a stack left, and I still have some more to go, so I may even have to go with more reinforced stone. But like I said, I'm trying to be a little extra careful here. Doing a good job surrounding this thing with a good 3 layers thick of the reinforced stone that I need for it. So, back to building. Alright, doing pretty good. Got a nice little chamber surrounded here. So I've got, like, you know, the top of my chamber pretty well surrounded, and then I have a little bit of a cut in here. Here, kind of like that. I don't know if this is perfect or ideal, but it looks pretty good to me. I think it looks like it's working well enough, at least. Hopefully that's good enough. I'm sure somebody will post and tell me if I'm missing something or if it's not perfectly, you know, smooth or whatever. But for now, I think that's a pretty good. I think I have an extra little layer here that I don't need necessarily. So yeah, this is basically what I attempted to do. Was have just 3 out. Now if I cut into this thing here, I can get in and just get some lighting in here for you guys at least. You can see I haven't done the flooring just yet, but I think this is pretty sharp. So, good enough for my purposes, especially for the Mark II reactor, which should hopefully never explode. Why don't I get the flooring done and I'll be right back. Alright guys, you'll just have to take my word for it, but I just cleared out the flooring. You can see if I dig down well enough here, that I've got about 3 deep on the flooring here as well, and I'm going to do just the same. I think I've got close to enough. Close enough for military work at least, to call that good. Nice. So that's a nice looking little reactor. Should probably move this chest. Now, I don't know exactly how this works, but I'm pretty sure that if I place my door here, and for now I'm just going to place it, boom, nice little reactor chamber, cool. Do I have any sticks? I do, hooray. I'm going to give myself a lever. Reinforced doors, just like steel doors, can only be opened with a lever. And temporarily I'm going to place the lever here, but I might make this a redstone wire thing later. Thinking I might want to have a little control system on the wall. That might be cool. For now, the nuclear reactor, I think, is for the most part set up. Looks pretty good to me, at least. Now, keep in mind that we want to have a nice area around the reactor being cooled. So, let me think real quick about how I want this to work precisely. Alright, I think I need to drill this out here. Somebody can probably correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I need to have water around all the sides here. So the way this needs to work is there needs to be water on the sides of a nuclear reactor, like so. So the more water you have surrounding it, the better, and that's going to make better cooling. So I'll be filling up this room with a bit of water, and I'm going to decide how exactly I want it to be laid out. But why don't I get my nice little Evertide amulet here. I think if I start just placing water around the sides of this thing, we should be pretty good. Now obviously I'm going to be getting a little bit wet, but not a big deal. And I can start placing a nice water block here, here, just kind of all around. And I know unfortunately it's going to start getting dark in here. I'm going to see what I can do about that. But I'm basically going to fill this room with water. Again, it's more water than I necessarily need. You really only have to fill like the 3x3 area around a nuclear reactor with water, so I am putting more water than I need to at the moment. But don't worry, the only reason I'm doing that is because I made the room big enough, and I think water dampens explosions just a little bit, so that should be good. So let's get some light here, we can knock this guy off. Maybe just, set that up like so. Might be a good idea. So plenty of water going on now in this room. That'll keep things nice and cool. Again, don't need it to be quite this big, but I wanted a little bit of a bigger room. And I'm just placing some water source blocks in the bottom here. I don't think I need them, but never hurts to place. And, well, maybe it will hurt to place them if I run out of air. Alright, let me get ready to start building this nuclear reactor now. Alright guys, so I've made Lumar before. You've seen plenty of white Lumar. I just made myself some green Lumar and some red Lumar. This is the stuff that you use to make red power lights, as you should know. So I'm just making myself a nice little green lamp and a red lamp. Cool. And I'm also cooking up plenty of red alloy ingots. You can see a good amount coming here. I'm going to need some more red alloy wire. Running low as it is, and I love this stuff, as you know, so I'm going to be making a lot of that. And I might be crafting myself just a little bit more goodies along the way here, but we'll see how far we go. So, grab myself some more red alloy wires. That looks good. And, alright, let's see what I got cooking. Alright, back down in my reactor chamber room. I think I want my control panel to be right here. So this is where I'm going to place my first lever. I'm going to need 2 levers, of course. I'm going to place the first one right here like so. Let's get behind the wall. And nice, I have this nice little natural cave to work with. Perfect. Now, let's run a cable, and I want to have lights here and here, I think, would be a nice place to have them. And I'm just kind of making this up as I go along, guys. Let's say red and green. So I'm thinking green would be safe, right? So green means the reactor is currently off, whereas red means the reactor is currently on and it's dangerous. So let's get some wiring back here. And we want it such that it works like this. Redstone to here when there's lights on. So let's get this guy up 1 block. counting here a little bit? Oh, yeah, I am. There we go. Hey, much better. That looks good. So, when the power is on, the green light is on. Everything's safe. When the power is off, we want the red light to be on. So that's going to be where I got this NOT gate, and he's all ready to go. So let's just build up into this wall here and connect the NOT gate like so. Well, almost what I wanted to happen, but not quite. If I knock this off here and put a block here, that will do exactly what I want. So, safe, not safe. Good, bad, neat. Now I can just run a nice little redstone wire along here. Why not? Right along the back of this wall. Now I am going to have to run this redstone wire like so. I'm going to do my best to make sure it's not terribly unsafe. And don't worry, I'll rebuild this in a moment. But basically I need to apply a redstone current like that. And if I cover this up again, that should fix all that water flowing that I have happening. And let's see if I can really get this to be nice and looking good. Alright, I think this will work. Let's see. I do need to get some uranium to test this, but I should be able to determine if this is going to work for me or not relatively quickly. I might even need this to be a little bit lower here. Yeah, let's see. If I run the wire to this block, it might emit its redstone straight over to the reactor core. Let's see if that actually does happen or not. I'm going to need to get a little bit of uranium. So why don't I get that going and I'll be right back. For those who don't know the way this works, you take a piece of uranium and you compress it in a singularity compressor or a regular compressor and you get refined uranium. Combine that with an empty cell and you get a uranium cell. The uranium cell goes into the nuclear reactor as a fuel source. Now of course I'm not going to be just putting uranium in there all by itself. I do need this guy to be behaving for me. So why don't I make sure that this cabling works by doing a little bit test right now. Knock this stuff off the wall. That should be cool. Now by running the redstone wire to this block, I'm hoping that it's enough to get the redstone signal carried through. Might even run it up this block as well, just for smoothness sake. Let's cross our fingers and see what happens. So with the redstone signal applied, will this machine run? Yep. Okay, so that's not working. Let me see if I can figure out a way to get this in there without breaking through the wall. Alright, at this point I feel like our best bet is to dig underground and come up at this thing from underneath. So if I go something like this to here, right underneath water at this point, that's not where I want to be. One block closer it looked like is where it was, so right here and here. So there's the bottom of my nuclear reactor, right? So let's run this guy under here like this. And this might be exactly where I want to be. So that I can run up this wall. And I know, I'm not the best redstone wire guy. I've never said I was. Now, where am I at down here? I am one level beneath, so I should be able to place this thing here. And this is pretty much a good layer of protection. The redstone wire should send its signal through the reinforced stone and affect the uranium reactor. Is that correct? No. Ha. Alright. Let's go dig through that last layer of reinforced stone. And I'm sure somebody will post and say, Direwolf, you're such a noob at redstone. And you know what? I kinda am. Alright, let's see if that does what I want it to do. No. Let's see if I can get the redstone actually on the reactor. Like that. And remember, you want to shift-click to connect to a machine without actually activating it. There we go. Now, my nuclear reactor is not running, even though there's uranium cell in it. And if I flip the lever, danger. Back to being safe. Sweet. I might do a little bit more with that lever switching thing in a bit, but for now I think that's pretty good. So I can simply seal up the wall, and everything looks nice. And the other thing I'm probably going to want to do here is just run a quick little redstone wire down here. I'm probably going to want this thing to be like that. And I'm going to grab myself this thing. And I want my lever to access my chamber to be right here. Why not? So I can run this nice little redstone wire like so. And I'm just going to run it over to the door. And there we go. Just ran it over there to the door. Flipping the lever, opens the door. Not bad. Might consider repositioning that, but for now it's pretty good. I don't think running it to here is good enough, is it? Nope, didn't think so. So I can run that guy like so, and just place a nice little cover. Perfect. Now we've got our door opener. That looks nice. Cool. Alright guys, so this feels like a pretty good wrapping up point. I've made some good progress in this room today. Got my reactor controller set up, got this nice little lever opening the door for me, everything looks pretty good in here. Next episode I'm going to wind up making a few more of these uranium cells and quite a lot more of the components necessary for a nuclear reactor to get turned on and running. For now I'm going to just clean up my inventory a little bit, get ready to do all that. And stay tuned for next episode where that nuclear reactor will probably get turned on and start generating power. And it's a pretty good design that's available on the forums. I'm using a Mark II nuclear reactor that should produce a heck of a lot of industrial craft energy. So, hope you guys enjoyed episode 38 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Stay tuned for the next one. Take it easy.